He's Tony. I'm Mike. We're here to watch what. This episode 39, 1987's horror Hellraiser, written directed by Clive Barker, his debut, by the way.
The man himself.
Man himself. Produced by Christopher Figg. Let's see here. Based on Clive Barker's 1986 novella, The Hellbound Heart.
I have read a ton of Clive Barker. I have not read the short story that this is based on, but I will say that Clive Barker has a lot of themes that he likes to revisit in his work, and one of the big themes is sexuality, and he covers it from a couple different angles. One of them is its addictive qualities.
I thought I'd gone to the limits. I hadn't. The Cenobites gave me an experience beyond the limits. Pain and pleasure, indivisible.
One of them is its destructive qualities, and unhealthy relationships are part and parcel with everything Clive Barker does, I think.
What about Larry?
Forget him.
And it's definitely all in this film.
It is all over this film. This film is the most Clive Barker film that I think is possible of being made.
Okay,
but it does watch like a lot of his stories read. But Clive Barker is huge into world building, and I can appreciate that this is based on a short story. It would have to be, because if you read Clive Barker, you know that when Clive Barker writes a novel, he writes a 1,100-page novel like a Magica, or he does like a series of 700-page books like the Books of the Art with the Great and Secret Show. I've read everything that he had in print up until not Cold Hard Canyon, it was Galilee. That was the most recent thing of his that I've read. So I've read a ton of his stuff. I have read Cabal, which is what Nightbreed is based off of, and that actually reads a little bit differently than the movie. You could tell there was some studio interference, but that was probably a much more expensive film than this was.
So this had a low budget, crazy low budget of $900,000, and brought in 14.6. I'm assuming that's worldwide. I really don't know. It didn't say, but still, that's a great return on investment.
That's a huge ROI. And you find me another investment where you can make 15 times your money, I'm all in. So,
right. So, and it got great reviews in Britain, which I didn't really know that this was a British movie. I just assumed it was shot in America because at least everybody came across as American, but apparently that's not the case.
Yeah.
So it was. Let me tear through the cast, and then we can tear through the plot. So first we have our leader, the Cenobites, Pinhead, portrayed by Doug Bradley.
Legendary performance, no less. So
yes. And then we have Claire Higgins as Julia, who plays the housewife / whore.
MILF, stepmom, hot stepmom.
She doesn't do it for me.
There's whole subsections of Pornhub dedicated to this. So.
Please. I'll do anything you want. Anything.
It's not my cup of tea, but that's all right. So she's in Hellraiser 2, and she had a long career. She's been in a ton of TV and movies and stuff like that, all the way into even to the 2020s. Then we have Ashley Lawrence as Kirsty, who is the daughter. She's also in Hellraiser 2, and just like Claire, she's been in TV and movies for forever and ever. And now her, on the other hand, has held up incredibly well and still very attractive.
And now she's milfy.
Yes, absolutely. And that is my cup of tea. We have Andrew Robinson as Larry Colton, who is the father. And go ahead.
And he was Elam Garrick on Deep Space Nine, who you'll remember him as the Cardassian tailor that also turned out to be a former Cardassian spy, and he's one of my favorite Star Trek characters of all time. And this is the movie that kind of introduced him to me. I know that you had said that he was in...
He's in Dirty Harry. He plays Scorpius. He plays the killer in that one. And he does it beautifully.
So there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
So,
1971. So he has had an incredibly long career.
He's a
And
really
he's still doing stuff too.
Yeah,
he's a great
real
actor.
underappreciated actor too. He like falls into that same realm as like
Yeah.
Tony Todd and Jeffrey Combs, and that every role that they get, man, they give everything to it. Doesn't matter how big your budget is or how small your movie is, or if he's working with A-listers or people that have never acted before. When he's there, he's 100% there. My dream project is Tony Todd, Jeffrey Combs, and Mr. Robinson, and doing a film with the three of them. Hopefully it'll be written by David Mamet. It'll be amazing.
I don't know who David Mamet is.
Glenn Ross.
Oh, okay. So they're just gonna chip the scenery the whole time.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
fair enough. All right, we have Sean Chapman as Frank Colton. So Frank is the scumbag brother who seduces Julia.
He's deeply misunderstood.
Sure.
Scumbag, but he's
Yeah,
deeply
yeah.
misunderstood.
And it's the reason why all this craziness happens in the long run. Then we have Robert Haynes as Steve, who is the boyfriend of Kirsty in this one. He
His
doesn't
presence
have
in the
much
film is almost inconsequential.
Yeah,
really.
I almost didn't even mention him.
He had to be the one that goes, Christy, you're crazy. Do you hear yourself? And that's really that's his job in this movie.
That's true. That's true. Oh, no, wait. And also to, cleverly pull in and pull out the cigarette butt in and out of his mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's impressive. That's how you win the chicks.
Is it?
Well, it worked on Kirsty.
Call you tomorrow. We'll sue his ass.
I mean,
All right.
it's in the movies. It has to be true.
I got to stop and buy a pack of smokes on the way home.
There you
so.
go. I think it were camels or something. I don't know. What the Brits smoke.
I have no Chesterfields for all I know. Shit, Winston's. It sounds British though.
All right, then we have Nicholas Vince as the Chatterbox Cenobite. He's also in Hellraiser 2, and he plays Kinski in one of your favorites, Nightbreed.
Nightbreed, yeah. So another Clive Barker joint.
Not my jam, but that's all right. Simon Bamford as the Butterball Cenobite, also in Hellraiser 2.
Of course.
Also in Nightbreed, he plays Onaka in Nightbreed. And then lastly, we have Grace Kirby as the female Cenobite. There's not much on her. She has like a handful of credits and worked from 79 to 90, and that's about it, sir.
Not gonna lie, the female Cenobite with her throat tore open, weirdly hot.
Throat vaginas ain't my jam.
You solved the box. We came. Now you must come with us. Taste our pleasures.
But hey, you do you, brother.
Perhaps we prefer you.
So let's dig into this plot.
It's a very straightforward, it's a very Clive Barker plot. Frank is on the quest to find the edge of pleasure, and he is traveling Southeast Asia, and he comes across a puzzle box.
The box.
Take it. It's yours. It always was.
And when he opens up the puzzle box, he finds out that the BDSM community in Asia don't take no fucking prisoners. It is no joke. And weirdly, that's actually one of the inspirations for this was the hardcore BDSM community, because Clive Barker don't give no fucks, all right? And this is one of the reasons why in Europe this reviewed well, but in America the Puritans were all like, oh, my balls! So, oh, it's so vulgar. How can you talk about such things? I have the vapors. So, yeah, just FYI on this one. The BDSM community, just like the punk community and a lot of other things, they were much more in your face and out and proud about it in Europe in the time, and Clive Barker's sensibilities most definitely run that direction. So that all being said, I get why, like, I can almost see like Good Morning America being all, don't take your kids, don't go see it. It's terrible, it's horrible. Yeah. So anyway, he winds up getting torn to pieces, and he's basically relegated to hell, where he is tortured for pleasure's sake, and then
Well, it's supposed to be for his pleasure, by the way.
Yeah.
Supposed to be.
Yes, and and the Cenobites are kind of getting a thrill out of it as well. So.
Right. But you know, again, it's portrayed as pain for pleasure, and I will insert Judas Priest right here.
And then he'll insert the Rick and Morty episode right here.
Oh, such pleasure.
I didn't mean to cause you any pleasure, which causes me pain, which gives me pleasure.
So that all being said, the puzzle box winds up. The puzzle box gets sent to the house with his brother, and right? No.
Well, he.
Refresh my memory. How the hell does the house? How does he get connected to the house again?
Well, he dies. He dies in the house. So they.
Was it in the house?
So
Okay,
he opens
right.
up the gates of hell, or the gates of whatever, and so the little pocket dimension opens up right there in that room. He gets ripped to shreds.
Okay.
And then they close shop. You know what I love about the Cenobites though is like once they're done and shit, they clean house, man, and they did the house better than when they first got there.
Yeah,
you never know that there was a full-on sadomasochistic like shred fest and blood guts gore everywhere.
That's just being a good guest.
It is.
I mean,
it really is. So they get my recommendation for any BDSM needs.
That being said, Frank goes missing for a year. So Larry and his whore stepwife, they move in. Julia, they move in.
Well, this is it. The old homestead.
Ugh, smells damp.
Well, it's been empty for a while, hasn't it?
And while they're moving in, Frank catches his hand on a nail and he bleeds, which actually starts the resurrection of Frank.
And it is beautiful, it is gross, it is glorious, and chef's kiss, and this shit holds up. CGI, suck a dick. Practical effects.
Practical effects is where it's at, because you know what? It's there. It's in the room. They're shooting it. It doesn't matter what your processing speed is. It doesn't matter how good your simulation is. This looks the part, and he's absolutely right. It's gross looking.
Yes, it's absolutely disgusting. But it is so good. And when you first see Frank the monster, it is man. It's
visceral.
Jacked up. Yes.
Visceral is the only word I can think of. He legitimately looks like someone who has been skinned alive. And so the makeup is phenomenal. And
so
then
good.
the performance is so good. It's so creepy.
You can't leave me like this, you can't.
Do you want me to do?
The blood brought me this far. I need more.
And Julia runs into Frank in his not quite finished form, and they have relations, if you will. Now, I'm just going to say this.
You know what?
You got to be a charming motherfucker to get by with no skin.
That pimp hand is legendary. It's godlike, all right? If you can convince a chick to go bring people back and kill them just so you can get some skin back on you, man.
Are you circumcised? Funny story. Julia is so into Frank that she decides that she's going to help Frank basically rebuild his corporeal form by bringing in unsuspecting people and then allowing Frank to murder them so that he can continue his reassembly. And once he actually reassembles, then he's going to, be back. And they're like,
Please! Don't look at me.
by the way, I forgot this little bit of detail. On Larry and Julia's wedding day, Frank showed up to bang the bride. So I just so you know, when Mike said he was a scumbag, he's most definitely a scumbag.
I'm brother Frank.
Oh, yes.
I came for the wedding.
But apparently that was enough for Julia to never really forget. It must have been a hell of a. I mean, the honeymoon must have been a hell of a letdown. So,
Well,
he must have rocked her world.
Well, I imagine the wedding was probably going to end up being called off until he disappeared, I'm guessing. I really don't know. They didn't get that deep into it. But speaking deep into it, this fucking Bravo. This scene was supposed to have some simulated sodomy, but there was an X rating, so they cut that shit out. So, you know, when Clive Barker likes to go deep, he don't fuck around.
Yeah, that's right. Clive Barker ain't afraid of the MPAA. So Julia goes on a murder rampage of killing people in the attic at the house, and Frank is being reassembled, and Christy gets kind of hip to what's going on. She runs into him.
She runs into him
In the
into
attic.
the attic, yeah.
Pretend I was dreaming all the pain, but don't you kid yourself. Some things have to be endured. And that's what makes the pleasure so sweet.
And yeah, shit happens from there. I can't remember how she ends up. Oh, she gets the box and throws the box out the window, and then runs out and grabs it.
Give me the box!
Wouldn't fucking have it!
And then through the course of jacking with the box, she ends up opening the box.
Yes.
And you know, of course, the Cenobites show up.
Go away, leave me alone.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
And they're going to take her, and then she's like, "Well, I got Frank." Like, well, who's up? Frank? It's like Frank used to be in here, and
Frank
like,
escaped you.
Yeah. No, nobody escapes.
Man called Frank Cotton.
Oh, yes.
He escaped you.
Nobody escapes us.
Surprise!
So maybe if you deliver us to Frank, maybe we'll let you go and we'll just take him back. So Kirsty goes back to the house.
Yeah.
And that's where we have our final confrontation.
Yes, where Larry gets whacked by Julia and Frank working in cahoots, because apparently Julia's going to have her cake and eat it too. She's going to be married to Larry, but banging Frank, and that's the whole plan. And there's a great scene in there where Frank's got skin, and he's adjusting his skin and little bits around him to let you know that he's tearing ass around town in a brand new Edgar suit. And so they try to bring Christy in. He's all like, oh, you know, he's trying to play dad. He's trying to play Larry. And Christy gets hit. She scratches him. And again, the makeup effects in this movie are so good, because when his face is tore open, it is so nasty looking.
Frank!
That all being said, Christy gets the box, opens it up, and be all, hey, remember Frank? He's right there. And the Cenobites come and they take Frank and they take Julia, and everyone lives happily ever after. The end.
So there's one weird thing about the ending, all right? Through the course of the movie, you see this random homeless guy.
Oh my God.
And at the very end, they throw the box into the fire, and then the homeless guy comes up out of nowhere, picks the box up, turns into some demon thing, flies off. So I'm assuming
he flies off back to Asia, and then he's back in the bar that Frank was in at the beginning,
so I'm assuming
and
he's
he's
the old
selling someone else
Chinaman.
the box.
right.
What's your pleasure, sir?
So then my question is this: is like, what relation does he have then to the Cenobites? Because it doesn't look like a Cenobite. He doesn't look like anything that's from
He's
that
their
particular
realtor.
world. so it's like what is he? And as you know, as a facilitator to.
I
shit.
don't know that he's a Cenobite. I think that he is actually a lesser
No,
demon.
I'm assuming he's not a Cenobite.
Yeah, he's not
at
a
all.
Cenobite. He's a lesser demon. So he's from that same plane of existence, if you will, but he is the one that is there to tempt humans to be pulled into.
See, I don't think he's even part of that plane. I think he may be actually a step above because he's the one that's unleashing this shit.
This is Clive Barker, and having read a lot of his stuff, I'm just going to say that in Clive Barker's mind, that is an angel. and as weird and as up as that sounds, it's an angel that is there to bring pleasure to the people that are brave enough to pursue it. I'm just going to throw that out there right now, and I'm not saying that as a joke. I
That's
mean
a noble cause. I can get behind that.
So because he's not pursuing people. He's literally just saying, hey, if this is what you think you want, I have it.
Yeah.
So yeah, in Clive Barker's mind, and he's not going to be like, oh, it's the Christian heaven and hell. He's going to be like, no, this is the reality of it, and this is what an angel would be like. That is very Clive Barker.
So when I was younger, I didn't like this movie. Like when I saw it the first time, I was probably like 14, 15 or something like that, and I didn't get it. It was just kind of like what the hell's going on here? Why would this lady, this ugly lady, because I didn't think she was attractive at the time. Why does this ugly lady help this skinless dude kill people? Like, what the f is going on here? Like, I didn't understand it, and so I just left it alone. I didn't watch it again for years. Like, literally, I didn't watch it again until like just a few years ago. So 30 plus years have passed. And so I finally watched it again, and I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm older. I understand the adult themes behind all this shit now, and now, okay, I get it. And so now I can appreciate it for what it is and all the crazy batshit stuff that Clive Barker does. Like, you know what? This is a flawed masterpiece.
Yes, it's absolutely, it's a flawed masterpiece, but on top of it being a flawed masterpiece, it is absolutely astounding that this is a directorial debut, that this is a first-time filmmaker, because Clive Barker's a writer. He'd never done that. And just so you know how difficult that is, Stephen King, famous for all of the adaptations of all of his properties, he did Maximum Overdrive, and Maximum Overdrive is a giant shit show.
Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive.
Clive Barker is deft. I mean, sincerely, he gets pacing, he gets visual storytelling, he gets how to frame a shot for maximum creepiness, and everything is so just visceral in this. It's
everything's dirty, everything's dingy, everything's disgusting, and it's gross. I mean, everything. There's not a bright, shiny shot in this whole movie.
No.
Not even at the end. There's no. It's just dark and depressing and up.
And weirdly, I think this is probably one of the most influential films that came out from this time, because this is, like, you can tell Rob Zombie would love to have made a movie that is this good. Yeah. And it, like, he's trying to go for that same aesthetic where everything is gross and dingy and visceral and nasty, and he's never managed to achieve it, because Rob Zombie doesn't get that you got to have the clean to show you how disgusting and dirty the disgusting and dirty is. You've got to balance it out. You've got to give contrast on that. Rob Zombie just goes 180 degrees, 100 miles an hour in one direction only. He could be a great filmmaker, but he just lacks that sense that Clive Barker just had intuitively.
Well, I think the other thing too is he likes to write his own shit. I think maybe if Rob Zombie had somebody write for him, maybe help doctor up his scripts and something. Hey, you can come up with a story and all that type of stuff, but have somebody write your dialogue for you, so it doesn't sound like a 15-year-old writing your dialogue for you.
See, that's the other thing, and this is another reason that this is a flawed masterpiece. Clive Barker understands how people speak. All the dialogue in this, even though the situation itself is completely f***ed up and absurd, all the dialogue sounds right. None of it like when you hear a bad line of dialogue, it like sticks
Yeah.
in your ear. None of that happens here.
Yeah.
And even like the little tiny bit. But then there's also like each character has their own little quirks and this and that. The performances, I'm going to assume that I don't know if he either knew exactly what kind of performance he wanted or he just lucked into a really talented cast that read the script and got exactly what he was going for. But every performance is exactly what it needed to be to maximize how f***ed up this movie is.
No. We had to hear it from your own lips.
This isn't for your eyes.
You set me up, bitch.
So I think a lot of credit to the success of this film and why it endured needs to go to whoever did the casting in this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think, you know, since he, like I say, is a first-time director, somebody probably found, hey, I know this person can act, I know this person can act, I know this person can act, and like you said, could read the script, get into these characters, embody these characters, and then all Clive Barker has to do is, you know, just give basic directions, let him go. Because the only performance that's semi-weak is the daughter.
Go to hell!
Which I don't think
Kirsty.
had she been in anything prior to this?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think this was her first go, which she
Yeah.
turns out to be actually a solid little actress. She's been in a bunch of stuff since then.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's obvious that, you know, this is a very early role in her career. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's her first, but I think it might be. But she still gives a competent performance.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. And even the boyfriend is a competent. Everybody does competent. It's just compared to the other, you know, journeyman actors that are in this, you know.
And let's be honest, Julia is the linchpin on this. If her performance had faltered, this movie would crumble. She gives the powerhouse performance in this because of everything that she's got to deal with, from the infidelity to the.
Oh, Julia,
you know,
I'm sorry. I was thinking of Kirsty. My
No,
bad.
no, no,
I absolutely
yeah.
agree.
Wedded bliss?
I'm very happy.
I'm sure you are. You're gonna let me kiss the bride?
Absolutely
Julia
agree.
is absolutely
Yes.
the linchpin in this one,
Yes.
and the fact that Robinson, Larry, is actually that performance is so likable and strong, and it comes off as so genuine.
Here you go.
Oh, great.
This is a big house.
You like?
Me like.
Well, I'll give you the grand tour if we ever get this goddamn bed moved.
And then later on, when Frank has taken over his body, and just the little differences, the audience immediately knows that's not Larry, and that is a great performance by an actor who really knows how to actually dissect and perform a character, and then just put it off just enough to where you notice it without him drawing attention to it.
I need to talk to you.
Of course. It's okay, baby. Julia told me everything.
Oh.
And that's what's great about this.
Yeah.
So the only scene that I think doesn't hold up, and not even scene, shot, is the scene where the hooks go into his skin and you see the skin pull away.
Yes,
It looks like latex. You can
Yes.
tell that it's not skin.
That and the weird penis monster thingy at one point, you know, that walks up the walls and stuff like that. I don't know what the hell the thing is supposed to be.
It's a demon
But
escaping.
when Kirsty opens up the box by accident, there's like a door. Instead of opening to the Cenobites, it opens up this other door to another spot.
Don't f with Rubik's Cubes, kids.
Yeah, it's no joke. That looked kind of wonky. But yeah, other than those two things, I mean, and the weird energy lightning effects were cheap looking too.
the animation,
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
could have been better, but I'm sure that was like they had just, like, they'd finished the film, they needed that last bit of effect, they had to hire an animation house, and rather than being able to animate on the ones or the twos, they had to animate on the fours, so it looks kind of janky. You know, it's not very fluid. It's very staccato. That being said, there is the scene in this movie that I love where the Cenobites are digging through a pile of flesh and throwing pieces onto a table. And when they finally throw all the pieces in, you can actually see that it used to be a face that's been torn to pieces. And the eyeballs are looking around. I am still grossed out by that scene. But at the same time, I'm absolutely amazed that they were absolutely able to do that. Hell, I'm amazed they were even able to show it, because even though the slasher films were a thing at this point, none of them had gone to this level.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't see people getting ripped apart like this in such a way.
Jesus wept.
Yeah, at all. No, not even close. I mean, the closest thing you got was, you know, like the early Friday the 13th, you know, when Tom Savini was doing effects and stuff like that, which is still masterful.
Yeah.
But this is head and shoulders above that. And really, I think I'd even put these effects, and some people would think it's sacrilegious, above The Thing in some regard.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy.
In some regards, yes. There are some effects that are amazing. They hold up so incredibly well. And I can tell you that as far as the money on this film goes, the makeup effects for Frank, that entire bodysuit and him just glistening.
So good.
That's
he's
where
wet.
the money went.
He is. It doesn't look. He looks wet. I mean, and you'll know what I mean when I throw the clip up. And it's just gross. It's disgusting. Like I don't want to be touched by this dude. Nobody wants to be touched by this dude.
It's nasty.
It's disgusting.
Come here. Come here, damn you. I want to touch you. Come to daddy.
But incredibly effective, incredibly creepy.
Yes.
And the other thing is, you say it's a flawed masterpiece, and I agree with that 100%. But this is a film that it's a weird, uneven tone to it. It starts off in one direction and kind of changes path and then changes path again. So it shows Clive Barker's inexperience, but the fact that it's this coherent and in the hands of a lesser director, this could have come off as laughably bad. Yeah. And at no point are you laughing during this movie. That's the effectiveness of this and how strong the story and the characters and the makeup effects are in this. So this is the movie that got me interested in Clive Barker. I've watched everything that Clive Barker has shot. I've read a lot of this stuff. Hell, I even have audiobooks of his stuff. But I have a very large collection of Clive Barker books. Stephen King never did it for me. I mean, it was just one of those, he comes off as McDonald's. He's writing to please everybody. It's very obvious that he's got as broad an audience as possible in mind. Clive don't give a fuck.
I can see where you're coming from, for you, Stephen King's and McDonald's. But I haven't read any Clive Barker's books yet. I keep on saying Clive Owen. I know he's an actor.
Clive Owen's the actor, yeah.
But I haven't read any of his books. But I have read some of Stephen King's books, and they're pretty good. I've read Carrie, and I've read I can't think of them off the top of my head. The one I really didn't care for was, and I didn't get very far into it, was It. It was like a slog.
I get it.
So,
I get it, but I think
so. If I was a first-time Clive Barker reader, what am I starting with?
Cold Heart Canyon, absolutely, 100,000,000% Cold Heart Canyon, because it is self-contained. You don't have to read 10 books, number one. Number two, it's a shorter read for Clive Barker, which is to say there's probably, I think, 450 pages.
Okay.
It is a supernatural love story, and it deals with very relatable themes because the main character in the book is an actor who is like starting to age out, and he goes to have a facelift, and the facelift gets botched.
Oh, nice.
And so he's trying to hide away from Hollywood, the paparazzi, all this, and he winds up buying this now deceased old actress's home, Cold Heart Canyon, and he moves in there and discovers that it's haunted. Oh, and it's a very adult, there are no fucks given. There is most definitely Clive Barker, but this is a way to ease you into it. It's lubed. It is. It will slide in nice and easy. There will be no soreness and no dry spots. And when you get done, you will feel invigorated. You will not feel sore and angry and hurt. There's not going to be any therapy when it's all said and done. I'm saving a magica for you for when you've been broken in a little bit. When Clive has stretched your shit out, then you can do a magica. Then you can do the Great and Secret Show. Okay, but Cold Hard Canyon, that's where it is. That's the good one there. Skip Galloway. It was a bit of a slog, and Clive bought into his own bullshit on that one. I'm not a fan of that one, but yeah, that is the absolute starting point. I've recommended that book to dozens of people, and no one has ever come back and gone, I didn't like it. There's your go. There's your go-to.
What else has Clive Barker done film-wise?
Film-wise, he has done Nightbreed. He has done Midnight Meat Train.
I haven't seen Midnight Meat Train.
Midnight Meat Train is very one note. And
wait a sec. Is that the one with Bradley Cooper and
the big guy from Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels? Yeah. That would exactly be
I did not like that one. It's boring. It's very one note.
It's very one note. It's very unsophisticated. It's very, I get that it's supposed to be like a throwback to old school slashers, but there's a reason they don't make old school slashers anymore for the most part. You have the name brand ones.
With the exception of X.
Well, that's a different breed though. That's a new interpretation. But I was going to say like Friday the 13th, all those movies are about the kill count and creativity of the kill count. Halloween was the same thing for a very long while there, and then I don't know what the fuck they're doing to that now, but desecrating it would be the proper.
Speaking of desecration, they're gonna be desecrating this because they're doing a remake.
Oh,
sorry guys.
This is a movie that you go back in and you remaster and you fix the wonk. You fix the animation. You don't remake this. There's nothing. You're not gonna be able to find a director that has the balls to do it like this.
Yeah, especially not in this environment. Right now?
Did they announce a director?
I'm sure they did. Do you guys want to stop and take a look?
F that. You know what? If it's not Ty West, get Ty West. I'll be okay with that. He did X. He can do this. I'll give it to Ty West.
Yes.
Everybody else? Oh wait, the Pierce brothers. I'll give it to the Pierce brothers.
Yeah, I mean, again, we've reviewed several great horror movies here recently, so there is competent directors out there.
Yes.
But I agree, Ty West would be on my short list.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna say, like, if you get this wrong, your career deserves to end. I hope whoever is that's remaking this hears me loud and clear on that one. If you with a cult classic, you're going to get what you got coming. Mm-hmm. And this is a movie that don't touch that script. It doesn't need update. It needs nothing. Clive got it right 100% in '88.
Yep.
All right? Just you've got a strong female protagonist, very hip, very now. You've got very, open discussion about sex and sexuality and people's kinks and not kink all that. It's all there already. Yep. Don't touch a word. Just shoot it. And please, for sake, avoid an A-list cast. This movie needs unknowns that are incredibly talented.
Or really good character actors.
That'll work too. Because
that's what we got here in this one.
It's really great.
Really great character actors. So
I'll take Sydney Sweeney as the replacement for Christy. And if you do this one, you better do the sequel too, because it's all one story.
I need to watch the sequel now. As a matter of fact, I want to do that after
we're done here?
After done here?
Yeah, it deserves it. But everything after 2, nope, just leave it right. Look, I love shit cinema, but I think I saw there was one that was the origin story for the puzzle box and for Pinhead.
Was that Bloodlines? Was that the third one?
I think it was Bloodlines, and that was actually fourth one or fifth one.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the genre.
And I did enjoy that for what it was, but everything that led up to that and everything after that. It's like, the movies The Puppet Master?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's about right there, that level of kill count quality on that one.
I would be happy to do Quick and Dirty on The Puppet Master.
Are we talking Robert Heinlein's The Puppet Master with the aliens on their back, or the little puppets that kill people?
No, the stupid little puppets that kill people.
I'm in.
All right, cool.
You son of a bitch.
So look forward to that at some point.
It took you a while to appreciate this. I know this is a movie that is not made to be everybody's cup of tea. That's the f***ing point.
Yes, it is. It is. And if you're not at a certain mental state, you're not going to enjoy this movie. So if you're probably 15 or something like that, like I was at the time, I didn't get it then. Maybe if you're older, you'll get it. I don't know.
It's a character study. It's not a slasher.
And I think that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So it's like I didn't really understand. I kind of get the subject matter, but I didn't really at the time. And since I didn't really get the subject matter, the kills weren't there. It didn't come frequently enough. And what kills were in there were fucking lame.
Yeah.
At that time. And again, I'm comparing this to, Halloween, Friday the 13th,
Candyman,
and Nightmare on Elm Street and things like that. So,
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But, when you get, now, like I said, I love it. It's a flawed masterpiece. And I really got nothing to really say about it. Rent it, watch it, enjoy it. Pinhead should be on the Mount Rushmore of, horror icons.
Absolutely.
So... What do you got?
I still find the female Cenobite kind of hot. I got nothing for you on that, but
if you have a vag in your throat, give this man a call. Well, your wife may have an issue with that.
Well, she'll understand. So, and that all being said, I think Clive Barker is genuinely the real deal when it comes to horror. I think Stephen King, he writes pop music. Clive Barker writes magnum opuses, and there's no one quite like him, and I have loved his stuff for a very, very long time, and I just wish more people would appreciate just how good he is. But we live in a very puritanical time, as weird as that sounds, and people that want to clutch their pearls over subject matter that's, makes them feel icky. What Clive Barker was saying, F you to all that 30 years ago, and I'm with Clive, so I ride with Clive, baby. But that all being said, real quick, I just want to say, if you enjoy our content, if you like our videos and our commentary and all that shit, do me a favor and hit subscribe, because our Three Kings Elvis specials didn't do really well, and Mike basically said, well, you know what, we're not doing another Elvis movie, and I really want to review Baz Luhrmann's Elvis film. We need to hit 100 subscribers, because that was what was agreed upon back when those original Elvis films bombed so badly.
Yeah.
So do me a favor.
20 ran away.
Hit like, hit subscribe, and let's get to 100, and then I can chat about the King all I want. That's all I got, man. Anything else?
No.
No?
Anyways, all that being said, this is my pick. What are we watching next?
Next, we are actually going to go old school. We are going to do the kind of film that I love. We are going to go back and watch James Dean in Rebel Without a Cause. Because why not?
Well, because I haven't seen this since high school, so I forgot what the movie's even about. And you,
I have to confess, have never seen this film. The closest approximation I have is I did watch the Paula Abdul Rush Rush or Hush Hush music video starring Keanu Reeves in James Dean's role, which I always felt like, I don't need to see it. Paula Abdul summed it up for me in like 5 minutes.
I wanna see it for you and me.
But I need to see it. It's Natalie Wood. It's James Dean. So we're gonna roll with that. So see, there's even for an old school old film buff like me, there's still virgin territory.
There you go.
I don't know how to feel about that phrasing, but we're just gonna roll with it. So, anything else?
No. We'll see you guys next time.